You talked about expressing your feelings or expressing something that's happening, something that's, again, having an impact on your life that you want to speak about, but you're possibly afraid to do so because you'll receive some sort of backlash from the person who's receiving it. And to them, it seems toxic, but for you, it's very real, it's very truthful. Understanding that the toxicity is usually related to pulling someone else down so you can rise up. The reason you want to pull them down is because you're already down. You already see yourself as a scared little boy. Although you may not be able to identify with that until you start going through a process of therapy or healing. The nice guy doesn't know he's a nice guy. He thinks he's doing this out of good, but he's not being honest with himself. And then that creates a level of toxicity in his life where he hurts the people who are closest to him. And this is somewhat toxic. And this is what happens. Instead of shaming yourself for what you've done, shaming yourself for breaking your porn pattern again, shaming yourself for having an affair, shaming yourself for getting found out because you hurt someone in a roundabout way, not directly, but indirectly, say, fuck, I'm such a bad person. I'm so toxic. Bad, toxic. Same language, same word. And you push that away. I don't feel that anymore. So you try even harder and harder to be nice instead of asking the questions as to, okay, what happened here? Why am I going towards the porn? Why did I go and sleep with that woman behind my woman's back? Why did I say those words to hurt that person? Fuck, you know what? I'm in pain. I'm scared. The nice guy is the scared little boy who never felt he was heard, never felt as if his feelings or his emotions mattered, is extremely lonely, therefore wants everyone to like him, to accept him, who feels an impending sense of death if he's ever rejected, because being rejected by your mother, you were doomed, but you're not the child anymore. You are the man. Being the masculine man means going back as the masculine man that the child needed when he was young, when he was scared, when he was afraid, when he didn't feel like he had a voice. Step in there as the masculine man that he needed to reassure him that you are loved. You're not responsible for your mother's emotions. Her anger is her anger. It's not your fault. And guess what? You're going to survive this. And I'm proof of that. Give that kid a hug in your mind, or whichever way you do it. You can write it down or meditate on it, and you make peace with that experience. But that peace came from you as the masculine man, going back there and reassuring your child self that everything is okay. You don't need to chase love. You don't need to chase validation. You are already enough. And once you do that, you start to change the language that you have created in your own head about who you are or what you are. This narrative that follows you through in life, that influences the relationships in your life, destroys those relationships in your life. And you do that enough times on a repetitive basis, it becomes a new thought process, it becomes new behavior, it becomes new life. And that's every day, possibly. That's being masculine. Toxic masculinity, all it does is it forces man to suppress his feelings all the more. It's wrong for me to be masculine. It's wrong for me to show masculine traits. It's wrong for me to be angry. It's wrong for me to express aggression. It's not. That's part of your fucking DNA. It's how you use it though. And again, a lot of men feel like that on the outside, looking in, just watching life pass them by, not actively participating in it. There's an epidemic of lonely men. Lost, lonely men. Why are they lost? Why are they lonely? They've never been shown an example of how a man is to truly live his life. Because again, you go back to those days when we're younger, most of us, I'm sure, where the mother was the main caregiver at home. The father was usually absent through his work, and you lack that masculine support, that masculine drive to say, hey man, come on, get up and get after it. I know school, you need to do your school, or in his narrative, you need to go to school, you need to do that. But you know, when school's over, you can still play football, you can still display masculine traits through exploration and through play and through activity in some way. Go back to the time, as I said, where you felt at your most free and most peaceful. What did you want to do? Who were you back then? And I understand that difficult to acknowledge who you were or how you behaved when you were 4 or 5 years old, but there's still some elements there that you can cling on to, that you can use now to cultivate in your life. And I'm not telling you that you need to leave your job and break free from society and all the rest of it, but there's perhaps something you can begin to apply to your life today to make you feel more fucking alive, to make you feel more connected. You know what? This feels good. Feels fucking masculine. This feels real. This feels like me.